American destroyer launches missiles at 3:47 a.m. Iranian frigate sinks before sunrise in strait where 1/5 of world's oil passes. Sunday, 3:41 a.m., Strait of Hormuz. Iranian frigate Jamaran steamed north through international waters escorting commercial tanker convoy. Standard patrol mission conducted hundreds of times previously. 4 vessels total. Jamaran plus 3 smaller patrol boats. Crew was relaxed, professional. Routine operation in waters Iranian Navy controlled for decades. American forces operated nearby, but encounters remained peaceful mostly. No reason to expect Sunday morning would be different. No warning that normal patrol was about to become opening engagement of shooting war neither Tehran nor Washington wanted, but both were minutes from starting. Because USS Arleigh Burke, DDG-51, tracked Jamaran from 34 miles away, had orders captain never expected to receive. Engage Iranian naval forces on contact. No warning, no communication, just immediate attack. The orders came through encrypted channels at 3:14 a.m. from CENTCOM. Someone at highest levels decided Iranian presence in Strait of Hormuz would be contested with weapons instead of words. Captain made verification request. Orders confirmed. At 3:41 a.m., American destroyer went to battle stations preparing to fire first shots of war nobody saw coming. USS Arleigh Burke was Ticonderoga-class guided missile destroyer. Aegis combat system, SPY-1 radar tracking everything within 200 miles. 96 vertical launch cells carrying SM-2 missiles, Tomahawks, and Harpoons. The Arleigh Burke was designed specifically for this mission. Surface warfare against peer or near-peer opponents. Iranian Jamaran was 1,500-ton frigate, British design from 1960s built domestically. Armed with C-802 anti-ship missiles, torpedoes, and 76mm gun. On paper, the engagement was unequal. American destroyer outmassed Iranian frigate 3-1. American sensors outranged Iranian systems 2-1. American missiles were faster, longer range, more accurate. But Iranian crew was professional, well-trained. Their frigate was capable despite age, and they had no warning attack was coming, no time to prepare. No opportunity for defense when American missiles launched without warning from beyond visual range. American captain gave fire order at 3:47 a.m. Weapons officer designated Jamaran as target. Combat system calculated firing solution automatically. 2 SM-2 missiles launched from vertical cells. Solid rocket motors ignited. Missiles climbed to altitude, turned toward target, accelerated to Mach 3.5. Flight time at 34-mile range, 142 seconds. Active radar homing. Each missile carried 115-pound fragmentation warhead, designed to penetrate ship hulls and detonate inside, causing maximum internal damage. Iranian frigate's radar detected launches at 3:47 a.m. in 19 seconds. Crew had 2 minutes, 23 seconds to respond, to defend, to understand what was happening, to accept that routine patrol had become combat, that American forces were shooting, that war had begun without declaration, without warning, without anything except missiles closing at 3 times speed of sound. Iranian crew responded professionally despite surprise. Jamaran's captain ordered battle stations immediately. Air defense systems activated, C-802 anti-ship missiles prepared for launch. The frigate turned toward threat, presenting smallest profile. Electronic countermeasures activated, attempting to decoy incoming missiles. 76mm gun elevated toward threat bearing, but couldn't engage missiles at that range or speed. Iranian defensive systems were adequate for 1980s threats, were obsolete against 2020s American weapons. Jamaran's radar could track incoming missiles, couldn't guide weapons to intercept them effectively. Point defense was limited to 35mm guns with optical sights, useless against missiles closing at Mach 3.5. Iranian crew knew they were outmatched, knew their defenses were inadequate, fought anyway because that's what professional sailors do when their ship is under attack. What's your tactical assessment? Type A for American strike demonstrating overwhelming technological superiority. Type C for Iranian frigate having fair chance of defending successfully with proper warning. Comment your analysis. First SM-2 missile hit Jamaran at 3:49 a.m. in 29 seconds. Struck amidships on starboard side. Penetrated hull plating. Detonated inside engineering spaces. Explosion destroyed main engine. Killed 12 crew members instantly. Started fires in fuel systems. Jamaran lost propulsion, lost power, lost ability to maneuver or fight effectively. Second missile hit 7 seconds later. Struck forward section near bridge. Penetrated deck armor. Detonated in Combat Information Center. Killed captain and 8 bridge crew. Destroyed communication systems. Severed command capability. The frigate was crippled by 2 missile hits delivered in 7 seconds. From attack that gave no warning. From destroyer crew never saw. Iranian survivors tried damage control. Tried fighting fires. Tried saving their ship. But flooding was overwhelming. Power was gone. Communications were severed. Jamaran was dying. Subscribe now for complete tactical analysis of first engagement in USA versus Iran naval war. This breakdown reveals strategic implications other coverage won't address comprehensively. Iranian patrol boats accompanying Jamaran attempted response. 3 small vessels armed with machine guns and short-range missiles. They turned toward American destroyer, increased speed attempting to close range. Launched 4 C-701 anti-ship missiles. Short-range weapons effective to 15 kilometers. USS Arleigh Burke was 62 kilometers away. Iranian missiles ran out of fuel before reaching target. Splashed into ocean harmlessly. American Aegis system tracked launches. Calculated threat was minimal. Didn't even engage with defensive systems. Iranian patrol boats tried closing range. American destroyer launched Harpoon anti-ship missile at each. 3 missiles, 3 targets, all hits. 3 patrol boats destroyed in 4 minutes. Iranian escort group was eliminated. Jamaran was sinking. American destroyer remained unthreatened. The engagement demonstrated technological mismatch. American systems engaged from ranges Iranian weapons couldn't reach. American missiles hit with precision Iranian defenses couldn't stop. American radar tracked targets Iranian sensors couldn't detect effectively. The outcome wasn't close, wasn't even contested really. Was technological superiority making combat one-sided despite Iranian crew courage and professionalism? Jamaran capsized at 4:23 a.m., 36 minutes after first missile hit. Took 97 crew to bottom of Strait of Hormuz. 23 sailors survived. Picked up by Iranian Coast Guard vessels arriving too late to effect engagement. The sinking was visible from Iranian shore. Radar installations tracked the battle. Commanders watched frigate disappear from screens. Understood their navy had just lost major surface combatant to American attack without warning. Without provocation they could identify. Without clear understanding why shooting started. Iranian military went to full alert. Supreme leader briefed immediately. Revolutionary Guard naval forces mobilized. Air Force went to combat readiness. Nobody knew if American attack on Jamaran was isolated incident or opening move in larger operation. Iranian response would determine whether engagement remained limited or escalated to full-scale war. American CENTCOM headquarters monitored engagement in real time. Satellite communications provided continuous updates from Arleigh Burke. Video feeds showed missile impacts, showed Iranian frigate burning, showed patrol boats being destroyed, showed complete tactical success. Strategic implications were less clear. American forces had just sunk Iranian warship in international waters, killed 97 Iranian sailors, created situation requiring response from Tehran. Pentagon analysis predicted Iranian retaliation within hours. Options ranged from mining Strait of Hormuz to missile attacks on American bases to strikes on regional allies. Every scenario led to escalation, to more combat, to war spreading beyond single destroyer versus single frigate in pre-dawn darkness, to regional conflict involving thousands of forces and affecting millions of civilians. Regional allies detected combat through their own sensors. Saudi Arabia monitored engagement electronically. UAE tracked ships involved. Israel intelligence assessed implications. Every nation calculating how Iranian response would affect them. Oil shipments through Hormuz Strait carried 20% of global supply. Any disruption created economic crisis worldwide. Combat in Strait threatened shipping. Threatened supply, threatened global economy already fragile. Regional nations wanted stability. American-Iranian shooting war threatened everything. Diplomatic channels activated immediately. Messages sent urging restraint, offering mediation, seeking to prevent Sunday morning engagement from becoming regional war destabilizing entire Middle East. Iranian fast attack craft began swarming tactics at 5:47 a.m. 36 boats departing Iranian ports simultaneously, armed with missiles, torpedoes, mines, targeting American naval forces in Gulf. USS Arleigh Burke was primary target, but other American vessels were threatened. The swarm doctrine was Iranian naval strategy countering American technological superiority through numbers, through suicide tactics, through willingness to accept casualties achieving effects. American forces prepared for this scenario, had trained against swarm attacks, but defending required sustained engagement, required ammunition expenditure, required perfect execution because even one Iranian boat reaching target could inflict damage. Don't miss strategic analysis and escalation scenarios. Subscribe and enable notifications for continuing USA versus Iran war coverage comprehensively. American carrier strike group positioned 180 miles southeast went to combat readiness. USS Ronald Reagan launched FA-18 Super Hornets providing air cover, E-2D Hawkeye airborne, early warning aircraft coordinated defense. American destroyers formed protective screen around carrier. The strike group represented overwhelming conventional military power, could destroy entire Iranian navy if committed, but was vulnerable to mass missile attacks, to suicide boats, to unconventional tactics Iranian forces specialized in. Admiral commanding strike group faced dilemma: engage aggressively risking escalation, or defend cautiously allowing Iranian forces to mass for larger attack. Either choice had consequences, either created risks. Sunday morning engagement had eliminated middle ground where avoiding combat was option. Iranian missile bases activated at 6:14 a.m. Shahab-3 ballistic missiles prepared for launch. Targets included American bases in Qatar, Bahrain, UAE. The missile threat was serious. Iranian arsenal included hundreds of ballistic and cruise missiles. American Patriot batteries could intercept many. Couldn't stop saturation attack if Iran launched full arsenal. Regional bases housed thousands of American personnel. Air Force squadrons, Army units, Navy facilities, all potential targets, all vulnerable to missile strikes. American defenses couldn't guarantee stopping. Iranian missiles weren't precision weapons, but didn't need precision against large fixed bases. Saturation was their strength, numbers overwhelming defenses through sheer volume. Oil markets reacted within minutes of engagement becoming public. Brent crude spiked $23 per barrel. Trading halted twice due to volatility. Insurance companies suspended coverage for tankers transiting Strait of Hormuz. Shipping companies rerouted vessels around Africa, adding 2 weeks to voyages. The economic impact was immediate and global. Supply disruption threatened recession. Energy prices affected everything: transportation, manufacturing, heating. The strait carried oil that powered global economy. Combat there threatened economic stability more than territorial disputes or diplomatic tensions. Financial markets understood what governments were processing. Sunday morning engagement was an isolated incident, was opening move in conflict affecting everyone everywhere through economic channels before military consequences fully manifested. American political leadership faced decision: escalate or de-escalate, attack Iranian missile bases preemptively, or wait for Iranian response. The intelligence suggested Iranian strikes were imminent, within hours probably. Waiting meant absorbing first attack, then responding. Striking first meant owning escalation. Either choice had strategic implications. Either created risks and opportunities. President consulted advisors, reviewed options, made hardest call any leader faces. At 7:14 a.m., authorization came. Strike Iranian missile facilities before they launch. Prevent attacks on American bases. Accept that preemptive strikes meant full-scale war. Accept casualties. Accept consequences. Accept that Sunday morning engagement of destroyer versus frigate had escalated to regional conflict neither side fully controlled anymore. American political leadership faced decision: escalate or de-escalate, attack Iranian missile bases preemptively, or wait for Iranian response. The intelligence suggested Iranian strikes were imminent, within hours probably. Waiting meant absorbing first attack, then responding. Striking first meant owning escalation. Either choice had strategic implications. Either created risks and opportunities. President consulted advisors, reviewed options, made hardest call any leader faces. At 7:14 a.m., authorization came. Strike Iranian missile facilities before they launch. Prevent attacks on American bases. Accept that preemptive strikes meant full-scale war. Accept casualties. Accept consequences. Accept that Sunday morning engagement of destroyer versus frigate had escalated to regional conflict, neither side fully controlled anymore. Intelligence community provided targeting data accumulated over years. American satellites photographed Iranian missile facilities continuously. CIA assets reported Iranian military movements. NSA intercepted Iranian communications, revealing launch preparations. The comprehensive intelligence picture identified 47 high-priority targets: missile storage bunkers, launch facilities, command centers, radar installations, each target precisely located, each analyzed for optimal weapon pairing, each assigned to specific strike platforms. The targeting was comprehensive, professional, designed to degrade Iranian missile capabilities before they could strike American bases where thousands of personnel faced imminent danger. American strike aircraft launched at 7:47 a.m., 24 F/A-18 Super Hornets from USS Ronald Reagan, 16 F-15E Strike Eagles from Al Dhafra Air Base, UAE, 8 B-1B Lancer bombers from Diego Garcia. The strike package carried AGM-158 JASSM cruise missiles, GBU-31 JDAM precision bombs, and AGM-88 HARM anti-radiation missiles targeting Iranian radar. The weapons were designed specifically for this mission: precision strikes against hardened facilities, standoff engagement minimizing aircraft exposure. The strike force represented American air power advantage, could deliver devastating effects from ranges Iranian air defense struggled intercepting effectively. Iranian air defense activated immediately. S-300 systems engaging American aircraft at maximum range. Indigenous Bavar 373 systems adding to defensive fires. Shorter range systems protecting individual facilities. The Iranian air defense was layered, competent, better than most nations operated, but was overwhelmed by American strike package employing electronic warfare, anti-radiation missiles killing radar sites, and precision weapons launched from beyond effective intercept range. American aircraft losses were minimal. 2 F/A-18s damaged, 1 F-15E shot down over Iranian territory, crew ejected, captured by Iranian forces, 47 targets were hit, 39 destroyed completely, 8 damaged significantly. Iranian missile capabilities degraded but not eliminated. Some missiles would launch, some American bases would be hit, but Iranian first strike capability was reduced before being employed fully. Iranian Revolutionary Guard response was immediate and asymmetric. Fast attack boats mining Strait of Hormuz, commercial tankers threatened by armed vessels, proxy forces attacking American installations in Iraq, cyber attacks against American financial infrastructure. The Iranian strategy wasn't matching American conventional power, was creating costs and complications through unconventional approaches American military advantage couldn't fully counter. The asymmetric response complicated American military planning, required dispersed operations, prevented concentration of force, made conflict messier and less predictable than conventional military engagement. Regional civilian populations faced immediate danger. American bases housed not just military personnel, but civilian contractors, families of service members, embassy staff. Iranian missile strikes targeted military facilities, but couldn't guarantee precision. Collateral damage was inevitable. Regional allies hosted American forces were potential Iranian targets. Civilian populations near bases faced risks they never agreed to. The human costs of Sunday morning engagement extended beyond military casualties to thousands of civilians whose lives were disrupted or endangered by war they didn't start and couldn't prevent. Diplomatic efforts intensified, desperately seeking de-escalation. UN Secretary General called Emergency Security Council meeting. European allies urged restraint from both sides. Regional powers offered mediation. But diplomatic momentum couldn't match military escalation. American strikes were continuing. Iranian responses were launching. The cycle of attack and retaliation had achieved velocity. Diplomatic interventions couldn't slow significantly. Good faith efforts to prevent wider war were sincere, were inadequate. Military logic overwhelmed diplomatic caution once shooting started and casualties mounted. Media coverage showed burning Iranian frigate, reported American bases under missile attack, broadcast oil prices spiking. Public opinion in both nations hardened. American public saw Iranian attack on destroyer, demanded response. Iranian public saw American attack on frigate, demanded retaliation. Neither side's population understood complexity. Neither accepted responsibility. Both demanded action from leadership. The domestic political pressures reinforced military escalation, made de-escalation politically difficult even when strategically sensible. Sunday morning engagement created political dynamics in both capitals, making war easier than peace regardless of actual costs or benefits. Sunday at 3:47 a.m., American destroyer launched 2 missiles at Iranian frigate. By 4:23 a.m., Jamaran was sinking. By 5:47 a.m., Iranian swarm attack was launching. By 7:14 a.m., American strike authorization against Iranian missile bases was given. 5 hours from routine patrol to regional war. From single engagement to conflict involving carrier strike groups, ballistic missiles, potential attacks on regional bases housing thousands of personnel. The escalation was rapid, was dangerous, was nearly unstoppable once shooting started, because neither side could back down without unacceptable political costs. Neither could prevent subordinate commanders from responding to attacks. Neither could control spiral of action and reaction. Sunday morning proved how quickly limited engagement becomes unlimited war, how technological superiority wins tactical battles but creates strategic problems, how destroying enemy frigate is easy, preventing resulting war is impossible. American missiles hit Iranian ship at sea, sank it efficiently, started war unexpectedly, changed everything permanently. That's Sunday morning. 1 frigate sunk, 97 sailors dead, regional war beginning. Nobody wanted this, everybody caused this, and stopping escalation was harder than starting shooting ever was. What happens as both sides escalate? Can war be contained or does it spread? Comment your predictions below. Your engagement determines our coverage. Every comment, every like, every subscription. Enable notifications. This war is starting. More strikes coming. More ships threatened. This channel tracks every engagement, every escalation, every strategic development. Sunday morning changed everything. You understand exactly what happened and why. Subscribe now and miss nothing.